Hey guys, this is my second time trying to record this. As you can hear, my throat is coming in and out. It's my allergies, unfortunately. My eyes are very badly itchy. I sneeze on and off, which now I can't. This happens. I stop sneezing. My ears are itchy. My throat is itchy. I'm taking my medicine just in case someone asks. I've done it. But when this happens, there's nothing much I can do but deal with it and try to rest my throat. So I wish to apologize that you didn't have no NXT review or an AEW review. Now, I think I might be able to do TNA today, but if I don't, I will do it tomorrow if I can, counting on how my throat has been feeling, because it's hurting right now. We're going to be doing a double feature, as you see from the thumbnail, of AEW and NXT. I'm not going to cover everything in both, but I'm going to cover the most memorable things that I thought, because I watched them both. First one, street fight between Michin and Miss Parker of Out the Mud. Let me tell you this. The street fight wasn't anything groundbreaking. It wasn't. But what was possibly breaking was when Michin wanted to do a suicide dive out of the ring onto Miss Parker, who was on one of the 3 chairs that was set up. And I cringed, because when you saw what happened to Mia Yim decides to do a suicide dive, and once Miss Parker decided to move, she didn't move the chair with her. The chair was still there, and Michin's own back legs clipped the top turn rope, and she went face first into the back part of the seat. Hearing Booker T say, "My God, my God, my God," and then they started editing the sound out. Guys, that I don't care what you think. If you think wrestling is not fake, that was not fake. She went face first into a chair that didn't move. It doesn't make a difference. That was not good. Of course, Miss Parker won. Fine. Next, the thing that is becoming very confusing when it comes to Chris Jericho and Taz, because yes, we had the I forgot. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of jumping AEW to TNA. You see, when you're not feeling well, you get things mixed up. I'm sorry, I'm getting AEW mixed up with NXT. Let's move on to Lola Vice and the Roxanne Perez. Reason I'm botching here is because when you look at Lola and you look at Roxanne, that was not good. I'm sorry. Roxanne has always been questionable when it comes to her mic skills. She's usually better with someone who's a bit better on the mic with her, so she can play off her and she can at least try to rise above it. But we're talking about Lola Vice. Lola Vice is not good on the mic. I'm sorry, she's just not. She still needs work on the mic. And when you hear how she was talking, particularly when she hammed it up way more than she should have, when she was talking about her mom getting sick, and she decided to go into MMA and become a champion, or at least try to be, she just felt fake. I'm not saying she's lying. No. I'm not saying that Lola Vice was lying about her mother getting sick. But it comes off fake. It comes off heavily rehearsed. And it comes off that it just seemed really disingenuous. And then worse, when you see that when Roxanne tried to play off it, it just came off like it was a total miss. You got 2 not bad wrestlers. Roxanne better than Lola Vice. And they're both not very good talkers, and you stick them in the same segment together, you get that. I'm sorry. You may have liked it, I did not. Next. Let me give it to you like this. Obafemi versus Bourne. Miles Bourne. And they're still trying to do something with Obafemi. No, not Obafemi. I should talk about Ubafemi and Wesley because I was going to be talking about Marsha. Sorry. It's kind of hard to stay focused. The vid pack for both of them was pretty damn good. I didn't have a problem with it when it came to Ubafemi and Wesley. Now, when it comes to Marsha, dealing with... I don't know where they're going to go with him and Metaphor, since we don't have Nolan Dar. So, I don't know what the situation is. So, when you see that he did win his match, and he's not going to be at Heatwave, it makes it like, then he's just going to come in as a fan and try to beat up on Ethan Page. And that's where it's going to be. Now, the second thing I liked was when you look at Bright and dealing with Wendy Chu. You don't know where she's going. Does she look menacing? Yeah. But she's not like a Wyatt family member. But she could be one day. I think if they're going in that direction with her, she has some work to do. But it looked pretty good. Finally, the last thing we need to talk about, because I'm not talking about anything else when it comes to NXT. I know there's a lot I'm missing. I'm sorry. Let me give you like this. The contract signing. I'll give it to like this. Ethan sound fine. When it came to Spears, not too bad. When it came to Trick Willie, he was cool. The one person that felt out of sorts was Devon Evans. Only near the end, when he started acting like he was pissed off, did he sound okay, because Devon Evans just does not sound right. He's still extremely green when it comes to talking. He's not that great of a wrestler as it is, because you got a lot of other high-flying wrestlers who are better than him. And the thing that gets me, I'm sorry, I don't get it. Devon Evans, he's not bad, but he is not great to be in a fatal four-way at Heatwave. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's going to win the match, but them putting him through these things right here, it makes it even more obvious to me. The only reason they're doing this is to prepare people for him to replace Ricochet, who should be done by the end of this month. Because that's where it looks, guys. It really feels like they're preparing him to go to the main roster much earlier, that's better the way. Much earlier than he should be. Because you're pushing him into a fatal four-way Heatwave. He's not ready for it. His mic skills are not that good. His ring work is very average compared to most high flyers. And he has charisma, yes. He's light and he does the bouncy bit, but it feels like he's being rushed. And I still believe it's because Ricochet did not want to resign, and Triple H told HBK, my boy, I need a replacement for Ricochet. Get him ready now, because we need a high flyer that can be very spectacular. I want him to come up to the main roster before the end of the year. Get him ready now. That's why I think Devon Evans is there. And even though we got that moment afterward where he did get pissed off at Shawn Spears, it just felt like, no, he's not ready. And even with the beatdown, and he's standing there with Trick Willie holding his title, he's not ready. I know he's not ready. This is stupid. Let's move on. Flip on my paper. You have no idea having my throat sound like this, how annoying it is. It's annoying. Now we got Dynamite Beach Break. I didn't see much of just Alex or JD, so I don't know exactly. I know they did their review. I think JD might have liked it, but I didn't really watch it much because I wasn't feeling well. My throat was bothering me, so I turned it off. I do believe they both liked it, along with Jesse. Jesse, I believe, liked it with JD, and I think Alex might have liked it as well, maybe. For me personally, when I watched it and I wrote my notes, when you look at this is the best show we've seen in months. for the way it's been booked, the way it's been built. Do I believe they switched things around last moment? Yes. That's what I believe has happened here, particularly at the end of the show. I believe someone decided at the last minute, let's flip it, because it wasn't working. Open match. My boy Pac versus Bryan Danielson for the semifinals of Owen Hart Cup. Owen Hart Tournament, sorry. I'm going to tell you this. It was a damn good match. Hearing that was only the second match they ever had. No, I think there's a third match, and they've only faced each other twice in singles in the last 15 years. It was important to me personally because, let me make it clear, Pac's my boy. Pac is my boy. I'm sorry. I know everyone loves Bryan Danielson. I still love him. But if I got to choose between Bryan and Pac, it's Pac. Sorry. But I understood they're trying to set this up for Bryan Danielson going into Wembley at All In. It is obvious. Do I believe he'll win? He should. But will he? It's a big question still, but I do believe he'll win. In the end, he did win. And he's still playing up the injuries to his neck, which is a smart thing to do. Which is not much of a lie because he does have neck problems. So, seeing that they're doing this is a smart thing. It's still giving him sympathy and it's still giving him pops. Fine. The next Owen Hart Cup. This was Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale. This could have been on the Forbidden Door. I'd rather have seen this than the match they had, that tag match with two Shoji wrestlers that I didn't know about and I didn't care about, even though I should have, but AEW is not giving me a reason to care. I'm sorry. AEW is not giving me a reason to care about any Japanese wrestlers that are coming in from New Japan Pro Wrestling. No vid packs, no matches beforehand much. You don't get a chance to know who they are. They meant nothing but a body. And I'd rather seen this than that match. I'm sorry. If you like them, more power to you. In the end, you did get Willow winning. I'm not surprised. And they're trying to hype up that she might be a 2-time Owen Hart champion. Owen Hart tournament champion. Which is understandable. Next. This is what I was trying to say a little earlier when I got a little bit of Chris and Taz a little mixed up when I was doing my NXT review. The Gates of Agony. Well, actually, I should say the Cage of Agony versus Hook, Sabata, and Samoa Joe. Now, this is where it gets confusing. And I just want to get this out of the way. The match is alright, and the faces won. Joe is a face at this moment. But here's the thing. You are having a wedge between Chris Jericho and Taz. Chris Jericho legitimately went to the Bucks and got him ejected from the building. Because of how he acted during Forbidden Door once Hook gave gave the Judas effect to Chris. I know I didn't mention it, but it did happen. Let me give it to you like this. Where are they going? If it doesn't culminate in Taz getting back into the ring and facing Chris Jericho for his own damn title, the FTW title, I don't know what this is about. Now, I know Taz has got a messed up neck. He doesn't go anymore. But if this is where it's leading, they got to go with it. If Taz can do one match, just one, and he's not going to get hurt, I will not have a problem if he goes in the ring. None. But if this doesn't lead to Taz doing this, and this is still about Hook, it feels wasteful. Because I don't want to see Hook get the FTW title back. I don't. He's already done what he needs to do with the FTW title. Like other people run with it. If he's going back to that again, instead of going to the international title or the TNT title or the world heavyweight title, it's a waste of time. He needs to progress so he can grow as a wrestler. Staying with the same title of his dad, I understand people like it. I don't. If you want him not to go to WWE, make him start learning how to do the international championship scene, TNT championship scene, the world title. A tag title. I don't want to see FTW around his waist again. Moving on. Mark Briscoe is now the first person who's going to go into Blood and Guts. I think this is going to be before all... excuse me. Going to be before All In. How many times is it now that we had a Team AEW go against Elite? 2 times or 3? I think it's twice now that we had a Team AEW. Or it could be the third. I don't remember. I'm not really paying attention to it because this story sucks. The Bucks feel like nothing with Okada. And Okada's doing great. I like Okada saying, this is because of you, bitch. I like Okada. He's got good timing. He has a lot of charisma. He's got good timing. I'm enjoying him. But I feel nothing from the damn Bucks because we know Tony's in the back because he was already seen. We got Chris Daniels there. He should not... He should be more substantial, and he doesn't because we know Tony's back there. If Tony had never shown up, and he did just a video saying, I'm leaving Chris Daniels as an executive, as a vice executive, or vice president, equal to the Bucks, then you could start doing some type of fights between the two. You can have them in the back. Have the Bucks arguing with Chris Daniels in the back about what needs to be done, who is right and who is wrong. And Tony does not get involved. But because of Tony, what he's done already, I don't care. So now another Team AEW is going against the Bucks and Okada at Blood and Guts. I don't care. I love him. I love Mark. I want to see him drop that world title and move on to main Dynamite roster. Not keep going to ROH. I'd rather see him have the TNT title other than Jack Perry, but Jack had to get it because of the storyline that sucks. But this is what you got next to the beatdown. Britt Baker. I didn't say anything during Forbidden Door. I will not lie. I have forgotten because... you see my eyes are itchy. I put eye drops in. They still itch. But I didn't say it because I forgot it. I won't lie about that. But here, we got a chance to hear about Britt and hear about her getting a condition that simulates or could be actually a mini stroke. And she couldn't use her hand. She couldn't open a bottle, so she stayed home to rest. I'm glad she did that. Because there's some people that won't stop until they drop. So she did the right thing. When she said, normally when I'm in pain, I say, oh, I'm good. But this time she said, I'm not good, I'm staying home. Good. She made it very clear how important she is to AEW because whether you like Britt or not, let's make it clear. Did they overuse Britt Baker? Yes. But did they have the reasons to? Yes, because she was freaking over. She earned it. She worked her ass off to become one of the top stars there and became the top star until she got injured. And then the heat in the back with her and well, I don't know how far the Thunder Rosa heat has been. But hopefully they squashed it when she came back. But I'm wondering, could they make a storyline out of that after she deals with Mercedes Moné? I wouldn't mind seeing that. But when Mercedes came out and the talk was done, I liked it very much. It was done very well. Britt talking to the Moné, making it very clear, when I was at Wembley and I was breaking barriers, you were basically in the stands, broke and a broken woman. Broke ass with a broken woman, I think. I can't remember what she said, but something about a broke bitch. Pretty much like that. But you know what? I'm fine with it. That's how it should be. If you're not going anywhere with Mercedes Moné and Saraya eventually, at least she is working with Britt. I'm not saying that's great, because we need more women being treated better with the storylines, but at least this is a good story. And let's move on to the last two things we're going to cover here. Only two more, because I know there's more, but my throat is hurting and I want to move on from it. Jeff Jarrett versus a Hangman Page. I've seen the video on YouTube about when he was talking about Owen. I really did believe if I was going to understand how this was going, where everyone was not fond of Jeff Jarrett, I wanted to see what he said. Now, was it heartfelt? Yeah. Did it really pull on the heartstrings? Yeah, it would to anybody. Would it work if you didn't need to worry about a title opportunity? Yeah. But there's a title opportunity connected to this, and I did not expect them to let him win. If they did let him win to make it to the end, I would think there would be a major issue here, because they need someone other than Jeff, who hasn't really done much but be in a faction that's only funny, not dangerous or substantial. And then Hangman Page came back, and I knew, of course, he was going to lose. But I will say this, what they did for Jeff, Hangman Page beat the living shit out of him. And I'm glad he did. Because if he just won easy, that would suck. And I wanted to see that Jeff, who has a legitimate story behind it, would lose, but lose because the person he went up against was so vicious, he didn't give a damn what he did to Jeff. And that's exactly what we got with Hangman Page. That's exactly what we got. And to Jeff's credit, he actually wrestled pretty good. I'm not saying he's the greatest wrestler, he's not. But he's still at a good level that he's above average here. He's not up here. He's not like Dustin. Dustin is like here. And Billy Gunn is like here. These guys are like here. Jeff is like about here. Excuse me. He's like about here. This is average. He's here. These guys are here. So he can still wrestle. He can still go pretty well. And he got demolished. Fine. Good. It makes it look good. He doesn't lose any face. He really tried his hardest. And this made Hangman Page look dangerous. And it made Jeff, even though he got his butt kicked, more sympathetic. So if they decide to do something more substantial with Jeff, like maybe to present afterward, because they thought, well, Jeff Jarrett, he's such a special person. We want him to present to the winner. Nothing wrong with it. Final thing I'm going to talk about, Danny Garcia versus a Will Ospreay, the match for that. Let me give it to you like this. I liked the match. Seeing that Danny Garcia was being played with by Will, and Danny, who is he's a boy, he's a New York boy, and we got attitude, even though, let me give it like this. When you meet New Yorkers for the first time, we generally are very nice people. But if you push us, sometimes we can have a nasty attitude. Some of that nasty attitude will curse you out. And others, a nasty attitude will beat the crap out of you. And there's a few that would do both. We will curse you out, beat the crap out of you, and then curse you out again just to rub it in your face. And seeing when Garcia went like this and did that pelvic thrust to Will Ospreay's head just to fuck with him was very good. Seeing that MJF was out there with him, and seeing that MJF, excuse me, decided that he wanted to try and get him to win by giving him his diamond ring on his ring finger. And I'll give it like this. When Danny lost, I felt there's no way that someone's not turning heel here. I felt it could be either one of them. But I thought if it's going to be Danny attacking MJF, then he'll be his next opponent. Fine. That'll be fine. But I thought if it's going to be MJF that's going to turn, I knew it would work. I knew that I knew it was going to work, and I knew he would get really good heat. But it's going to depend on how far they were going to go, and I didn't know how far they were going to go with Danny. It went a lot more than I expected. Getting a nut shot between the legs, get beat down, and get the diamond ring on the pinky finger to the head to make him bleed. I didn't expect that. But the thing that was the final step that put MJF over as a heel again was to do do the, what was it? Which move did he do? It looked like it was a tombstone pile driver, but off the second turn rope. And he ended him. And seeing Christopher Daniels telling him, don't do it, and he does, and he says, why did you do it? Why? And he still beat up on him, and then he had to be escorted out, and then he started fighting with the fans, which is always good for a heel. Perfect for a heel. That's what he did. It was perfect. Now, was this a good show? Yes. I haven't seen a good show like this in many months. Not since Sting's retirement match. That's the truth. Since Revolution. Haven't seen anything as good as since Sting retired. So this show was very good. But will it help AEW going forward? I don't know. One of the major problems AEW has, no straight booking. It's always like this. When you look at Tony, he does not book 2, 3, 4, or 5 months ahead. He books maybe 2 weeks ahead. And that's a major problem with AEW. They don't book beyond 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks if you're lucky. Usually it's like week to week. And the major issue is that it's not about the main stars that is booked every week. Because they are booking to a certain extent for the main stars. It's the lower leveled wrestlers. That's the major issue. You got the top tier here with Swerve, with Okada, with the Bucks, with MJF. When it comes to, you could say a bit of declaim, but all the top stars here, they're getting booked maybe 2 months, 3 months ahead in certain instances. But all the ones that are here, somewhere in the mid-card, they don't even book them more than a week. And that's what's killing them right now. As I've always told people, relevancy is more important just getting a damn title. You need to feel relevant. And there's one person that was speaking about Saraya saying she sucks, she's nothing. It's not because she wants to be nothing, it's because she's been booked like nothing. AEW's job is to make her feel relevant. Like Mercedes Moné needs to feel relevant. Or Tasteless Toni Storm, needs to be booked with relevancy. Look, Mariah May is booked with relevancy. She's in the cup. She's Storm's, not assistant, but more like protege, daughter, what do you want to call it. And then you got Mia Sakasawa, what is her name? Mia Shirakawa. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name. She has relevance because she's connected to Mariah May, and she feels important because of how it was. I don't know if she's still staying after this, after what's happened with Forbidden Door. She could be gone. But she's been booked very relevant. And I care about her because they made sure that she has some connection to Storm, to May, and she has her own character with those big-ass titties. And they made sure that you knew that in vid packs. And when she was talked in the back, I care because they made her feel relevant. That is the major problem we have with AEW. You don't need to have a title to feel relevant. You don't need a match all the time to feel relevant. You just got to be booked like you mean something. Find out what the gimmick is. Make them talk. Do a vid pack or two. Then do a match or two. Then when the match is over, still spotlight them. Make sure they're doing something in the back. Make sure they're connected with somebody else in the back. Just make sure you're giving them something that they can work with. And that's what we haven't had. It's been like this. Collision's been worse. It's just been straight matches with very few stories on there that are from Dynamite itself. So it's good to see they did have a good show. Will they keep it up? I don't know. But let's just hope they do. I don't know if I'm going to be doing, my throat hurts right now. I'm hoping I'll do TNA after this tonight. If not, I'll do TNA tomorrow. Guys, I will do TNA tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do SmackDown. I may try to rest my throat and keep taking my medicine to break up this congestion and sore throat and everything. Peace.